Hello and welcome to lesson 4 in our fundamental series in the easy way to learn guitar. Today we're going to be talking about basic fingering. That is the left hand part of your guitar. We're going to be talking about the basic things you need to be doing and how to get progressing along. So without further ado, when playing a guitar it is very important that you do things correctly when you're learning so you don't get lazy later on. You'll see a lot of guitarists, including myself, when we play, our thumb comes over the top of the fretboard, and it's very, very, very lazy technique. When you're learning, you simply can't do that. You won't be able. Makes it 10 times more difficult. It's actually a more difficult way of doing it. But as you get older or better, playing longer, you tend to get more and more lazy. You just don't bother anymore. The only time mine comes behind is when I'm doing bar chords and playing up here, and even then sometimes it pops over. It's very, very lazy, and it's a habit you should never get into if you can. Unfortunately, I got into it when I was playing in a rock band when I was 16, and I've never been able to get myself back out of it. Anyway, your thumb, when you play a guitar, I'll just flip this over here, should be on the back here, right along the thickest part of the neck. It should always be there, because you're using it as your clap. It's what gives you the pressure on the other side to the other side, so that you can hold the strings down. So your thumb should always be behind the fretboard, and your wrist, I always say, if you put your leg out so you can put your wrist along it, you should lay your arm outside of your forearm against your leg, and then turn your wrist up 45 degrees, 90 degrees, sorry. And your thumb goes behind the fretboard there. And then your fingers come over and round. So one of the big mistakes people make when they're learning is that they don't get their fingers over and round enough. So your hand should never touch the guitar. This is what you see a lot of professionals and long musicians. Their palm is touching their guitar. You might be able to see that. The palm is touching the guitar. But you don't want to do that. Bad technique, it's lazy. You need to keep your palm away, and you need to have your fingers coming straight down on the strings. So you've got to curve your hand all the way over the guitar and push straight down on the strings, and you'll see a good guitarist, good technique will be the ends of the fingers will be pointing straight at the guitar, and then your fingers will come over in an upside down U shape. So they'll curl all the way over. You need to make sure when you put your finger down that this finger on this string here doesn't block the next string. So when I'm playing this one, I also need to be able to get that one. So if you don't put your fingers straight down on the strings, if you sort of come at them at a slant, you block the next string. And that might be fine if you're playing a chord and you've got another finger the other side of it that's doing it. But if that finger's doing it as well, and so, to do it properly, thumb behind, open your hand out, and we're going to start off with, we're going to put our hand into the E chord shape. So you're going to put your index finger on the first fret of your G string. Your middle finger is going to go on the second fret of your A string, and your ring finger is going to go onto the second fret of your D string. You are then going to play the middle 4 strings. And if you have done it correctly, then you will hear them all ring out nice and loud. Once you've got that, and you can get them ringing out, and that's going to take you a while probably, especially if you are truly just starting out, that's probably going to take you a while just to get that. Once you can do that, and you've got it, you need to remember how that feels. Remember how all the fingers feel. Remember exactly how that felt. Take your hand away. Without looking, try to put your hand back. So you're going to look like I am now, straight out in front of you, and you're going to try and put your hand back exactly where you took it from. And now, most of you probably won't be able to do it. Some of you might get lucky, some of you may be able to. But most people won't be able to do it. It's because you don't have the muscle memory yet. And so that's what we're going to start building. Remember how this feels. Remember how this feels. Take your hand away and put it back on. This time you can look at it. And all you do, you can do that 10 or 20 times. Put your hand on, take it off, look at it again, put it back down, and then play those 4. Take your hand away, put it back, play those 4. And already we're going to be starting to develop muscle memory. And you can do that about 20 times. And that's what you need to do every day. About 20 times, just one chord. And we're going to use E to start off with. Take it away, put it back, play it. And eventually you want to be able to do it without looking too much. But to start off with, you want to be looking just to make sure you get your fingers back. You take your time as well. Go, put them on, check they're on right. Look at your other hand, play them out. Take it away, put them back on, check they're in the right place. And that's all there is to the first exercise. Moving on to the second exercise. I like to always make things interesting. So that's why I teach chords rather than just teaching maybe doing this straight off. I want you to get straight into playing a chord. I want you to be there. I want you to feel like, oh, I've just learned something. So, for basic picking, there's a couple of things I use. One is the C scale, and the other is Miguel, because they're both very simple and they both work really well. So, we're going to be doing, first of all, the scale of C. And that's very important when you're doing fingering that you use the correct fingers. As with doing your right hand, you must use correct fingers on your left hand. The correct fingers are as follows. If you're playing from open strings, the first finger goes on the first fret, second finger goes on the second fret, third finger goes on the third fret, fourth finger goes on the fourth fret. That simple. So if you're starting from the third fret, first finger, second finger, third finger, fourth. So wherever your bass is, that's where your first finger goes down. When we do a scale of C, this gets a little bit tricky, and I'll show you why. We go 1, 3, 1, 2, 4, 1, 3, 4. But on the way back down, we go 4, 3, 1, 4, 2, 1, 4, 2. That is because our bass is moved. When we're going up, we start there. But we come back down and we don't move. Because our bass is already moved. So I'll show you again. Starts third fret of your A string, which is a C. So you go third fret, fifth fret. And we're going to move up a string. Remember, you go back and keep ring on your first finger. Second fret, third fret, fifth fret. We move up a string, second fret, fourth fret, fifth fret. Go over that again. Start at the third fret of A string to the fifth fret. Do the upper string, second fret, third fret, fifth fret. Do the upper string, second fret, fourth fret, fifth fret. Now that's a little bit more interesting than just going like this. Would you not agree? We will be doing that exercise as well, but this one's going to go first. So upwards we go third fret, fifth fret, second fret, third fret, fifth fret, second fret, fourth fret, fifth fret. On the way back down, we do the exact same thing in reverse, except for when we get down to that A string, we don't move. So you go fifth, fourth, second, fifth, third, second, fifth, third. Remembering to use your fourth and second fingers for those last two notes. And there we are, exercise 2. Moving on to exercise 3, we're going to do Miguel. Miguel is pretty simple. That's all there is to it. So, we start again on the C. This time, because we're going to be moving bass, we move, instead of going, which would be very tricky, we move up again. So we go, we use our first finger, and then we go first finger, third finger, first finger, third finger, first finger, and we just move up the string. So we go. So that's what you're going to be practicing. You go first finger, third fret of the A string, then fifth, seventh, move up a string, fifth, seventh, move up a string, fifth. And you want to go nice and slow, so you go. And if you're struggling getting the rhythm, just try without the rhythm stuff, so just go. I'm struggling with it. And for this one, with your right hand, you're going to be doing thumb, and then moving up your fingers. You might have noticed before I wasn't doing that, it's because I'm lazy. But when you're doing it, you're going to be going thumb, 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 first finger, middle finger. Exercise number 4, we're going to be doing a blues bass, and that's again very simple. We're going to, this is the basic blues, E blues bass, and so that one goes open on the low E string, 4th fret with your 3rd finger, on the E string, 2nd fret with your 1st finger, on the A string, 4th fret with your 3rd finger, on the A string, and then 2nd fret on the D string with your 1st finger. So it's called a walking bass. And so obviously again, when you practice, you want to go nice and slow. And there are all your basic fingering exercises. And again, when you do the right hand part of this one, you go open with your thumb, 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 index finger, and then back down with your thumb. That's all there is to basic picking. So we'll quickly go over how to do these exercises with a plectrum, for those that are playing with a plectrum. First of all, the blues bass, it's always alternate picking. All of these you're going to try and do alternate picking as much as possible. So you're going to go down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. And now that can be quite tricky when you first start out because you're going up and down the strings, and especially when you get to the top here, you go down, up, down, up, down. And then you've got to go up on the next string, but come down a string. So you're going to go doing the upstroke. When you're going down a string, everything just gone up a string can be quite difficult, so you want to practice that. Equally, when you do the C scale, alternate picking. And, of course, with My Girl, you might feel a tendency when you do My Girl to do one down there and then start the alternate over here, which is perfectly fine. You can do it that way. In fact, I think when I play it, probably don't even, I do it with hammer-ons, but that is the way I would do it, playing it in a song, is with one down there and then alternate picking here. But it's equally valid to do it all as alternate picking, so just go. Thanks for watching. Next lesson will be basic chords. I know we covered one today, the E chord, but that was just in passing to do another exercise with. Next lesson we'll be learning all the basic chords. All the basic chords, all the basic major chords, all the basic minor chords. So it should be fun. You'll be learning some real nitty-gritty music stuff. So I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.